Alright, it's time that we talk about Echo. But before we cue the intro, before we do anything, I have to let y'all know something. I have a video I posted about Echo, about Kingpin, that only got 30 something views, right? And I said something in that video that was to the tune of Kingpin will be a Thanos level threat for street level heroes. Matter of fact, if you don't believe me, I'll put the clip right here. To do with Kingpin becoming a Thanos level threat for street heroes. I also want to touch on what Marvel Spotlight means to me and how it should have been used for. Now, I made that video months ago, a month or two ago, something like that. And it did bad. And then you hear a couple weeks earlier, people were saying, well, reports are coming out that Kingpin is going to be Thanos for street level heroes. So I'm like, well, yip-de-doo. Basically, I'm saying all that to say this, right? If that isn't a reason for y'all to subscribe to me, I don't know what is. That proves I know what I'm talking about before stuff happened. I see the dice being played. I see how everything is landed, and I say, they're probably finna make Kingpin be a Thanos level threat for street level heroes. People were not saying that until a couple weeks ago. Subscribe to me, join the geeks, because over here you get good information, you get unbiased take, and you also just get good quality videos, bro. So anyway, it's probably awkward because I don't really put music in my intros, but that's a long intro. Let's cue the intro.
Up in the sky, it's a bird!
It's a plane!
It's a geek.
So Echo, the show that Disney Plus Marvel made, first Marvel Spotlight show, 5 episodes, they dropped everything all at once. What were my thoughts? It was trash. Now, it was trash because they kind of hyped it up to be something that it wasn't. It was hyped up. Unless you've been following like the rumors and stuff, you knew what the show was going to be about. But on Marvel side, they're hyping up all these fights. They're doing this fight and this Daredevil scene and this Kingpin's going to be in it. But they're not really showing Maya herself in the show. So that's one thing in the previews. So I get to the show, and I'm going to be honest, the pacing was kind of all over the place for me. Now, I know there's going to be a lot of people who say they like this show. I'm not saying it was a terrible show objectively, but for me, I didn't like it. My personal opinion, I didn't like this show. It just felt way too slow. It tried to make me care about certain characters that I really didn't care about. The powers were weird. I didn't like it. One thing they did with the powers were, if you haven't watched the show, first of all, I don't know why you're watching this video. But one thing they did with the powers was basically make it to where Maya got all her powers from her ancestors, apparently. But I'm thinking, okay, Maya is the only one who's gonna have the ancestors because once a woman has a child, those powers go to her. But at the end, there's a sequence where all of the Choctaw people in Maya's family are using the powers at the same time. So now I'm a little confused. The second thing is, this goes with the pacing. The show is only 5 episodes. It shouldn't feel slow. It shouldn't be several minutes of dialogue back to back to back to back. This show should be a little more violent, a little more gruesome. And I feel like with this is Marvel. I think this is Marvel's like one of Marvel's first attempts of doing a TVMA rating, and I really didn't like it. Because if I'm looking at it, I'm like, if you're gonna do TVMA, go all the way with it. Some of this stuff, the only thing y'all really changed was blood. So you could eliminate blood and it wouldn't need a TVMA rating. TVMA isn't just for blood, it's for things being gruesome. Someone's neck falling off, her head snapping all the way off. That's what you do TVMA for, not just for blood. So I'm looking at this, I'm like, okay, all right, I don't really like this. The first 2 episodes were kind of okay. The last 2 for me were very, very boring. So that was it for that. What I did love how Marvel did the Choctaw people. And if you haven't watched the What If video, the What If Disney Plus show with Kahorti, they did a good job. I forgot what tribe it was, but they did a good job with that, with showing the tribe of her Indian roots and stuff as well. If I had to pick which one did better, I would say the What If Kahorti episode did. But I like this too. It made it feel more authentic, but at some point, some things was like, okay, why are you showing me this? Why are you showing me her ancestor and her ancestors playing a game of whatever that sport was? Why are you showing me the thing where the alien thing with the goop? Y'all know what I'm talking about. Why are you showing me that? And I feel like we really never got any of that. I know it's a Marvel Spotlight, so it's kind of just like they put some stuff together and released it, But if you're gonna release a show at all, make it to where it actually is meaningful. Put stuff in the show that's meaningful, so we don't have to just assume this. Cause I had to assume what they were doing with the powers all until the 5th episode. That's too much, especially when I'm watching these episodes back to back. I feel the pacing more. I feel the story more. And, you know, I didn't really like that. When it comes to Daredevil, when it comes to Kingpin, this is my main gripe I have with Daredevil and Kingpin. Why do y'all, and when I say y'all, it's Marvel. Marvel, why do y'all continuously put these people in these shows and they really have no reason to be in the show? You know, I understand the Ronin stuff because that was kind of like a little backstory or whatever. So they needed to do that to understand why Maya was upset with Kingpin. And because Kingpin killed her dad. But I'm like, okay, Daredevil pops out of nowhere. Oh man, I've had my eye on these people for a minute. And they fight for 1 minute and he dips. What's the point of that? Kingpin's in it, of course, but he looks weak. I'm tired of seeing Kingpin get beat up. I'm tired of it. I'm tired. We saw him got shot in the face. We saw Maya do this to him, to his forehead. And I'm like, bruh, I already knew that Kingpin was gonna be a Thanos level threat for street level heroes. By the video in the clip I just put. But for other people, why should they take him serious? Why should they take Kingpin serious in this situation? Right? So that's another thing I didn't really like. Kingpin, it feels like, basically, long story short, it felt like Kingpin and it felt like Daredevil were being shoehorned in the show that really should have benefited more off of just being Echo and Echo trying to find her roots and do that stuff and then lead up to Kingpin in a different show. But when they're shoehorned, when Daredevil and Kingpin are shoehorned in this show, it makes it seem that they're only in it to set up something else. Daredevil's only in it to set up Daredevil Born Again. Kingpin's only in it to set up the arc they're finna go on with Kingpin. And the reason I say that is because the post-credit scene basically confirmed that for me. That was all my issues and my likes about the show. Let's get to the post-credit scene. So if you don't know, there was a post-credit scene about the show. And it was basically my Kingpin on the airplane, on his private jet, coming back, I guess going back to New York. And while he's going back to New York, he's watching a New York news broadcast. And they're saying, you know what, we don't really have a thing for the mayor. The people want a bare knuckle brawler. The people want somebody that's tough and ruthless and this and that. And Kingpin, he's having that look in his eye, and it's like, maybe, this is kind of intriguing. So they're setting up Kingpin being a mayor in New York, which is a big deal, and I feel like a lot of people aren't going to be talking about it. Kingpin being a mayor in New York will basically have him reign legitimately over the whole state. New York is a very powerful state. If I remember correctly, the Avengers Tower was in New York. Spider-Man's, and it's a lot of powerful people, powerful players in New York. So if you capture New York, you have reign over a lot of stuff that the Avengers used to do, all that type of stuff. You have reign over that. New York's a very powerful place. I feel like that's interesting. We need something where we're not just having this thing with Kang. We really don't know what Marvel's doing with Kang, but we need something else and something else to build upon. I have a video idea that I thought about watching What If, and this I'm gonna end it right here. I had a video idea I thought about watching What If, and it was basically seeing Thanos and why Thanos has become a joke. Thanos is a joke, bro. He's not a merciless villain like he used to be. Thanos is seen as a joke. He's getting killed every second, every show that he's in after Endgame. They're not taking him serious. So if y'all want to hear my thoughts about that, leave comments below. But that's all I got for y'all. If you love the video, like the video. If you don't love the video, start the video. I'm on the road to 200 subscribers. I appreciate everybody. Hey, it's my first week of class, so I'm sorry. I know every time I come back, I say I'm finna be more consistent, but stuff happens. I'm getting back to college, getting back on the grind. But yeah, that's all I got for y'all. I'm out. Peace.